Hey everybody, it's that time of year again where we're going to go through some of the changes that came from our October 2022 market. So I want to talk about the drops that are happening from this past market. So first we're going to talk about your cover drops, so your fabric and leather that are changing. So in your fabric drops, on your drops list, you'll see a column that looks like this. It says upholstery and it's got your cover patterns on the left-hand side, the name of the pattern in the center, and then there's one column that'll say all. I did want to point out, you'll see a few of these that have just an individual color listed. Those individual colors are because that's the only color that's current in that collection, or it only ever came out in a single colorway. So like iBangle, for example, that top one, it only ever came in the 46 color. Next, you'll see a list that is just colorway drops. There's quite a few, so make sure as you're going through your ring pages, you're checking all of these for those colorway drops. You will see some that are individual, some that have multiple colors dropped. But again, it's alphabetical, so you can flip through your ring pages and address that pretty quickly. Next is your leather drops. So in custom leather, we've got a few that are coming out. So you've got that 78 color on Spellbound. And then there's two Samba colors that are dropping, an 05 and a 48. Now I will say you guys are going to be getting some new Samba colors. So it looks like that color collection's dwindling down, but we're actually getting a new edition. I think it's like 5 or 6 colors that are coming in with your sample sets. And then the 79 color of your JL Krypton Florence leather is going away. And then your select leather drops. So you'll see a few on here. So the Shawnee leather for the Aster, we're just changing the leather on the Aster, so you can still order that until the kits are gone or the middle of December, whichever comes first. Hollister leather, that's the Kirkwood Select. The Kirkwood chair is being discontinued, so that's why that's going. The Jefferson leather, which is what's on your Neil, we're dropping the cap codes for leather on Neil, so that's going away. And then the Cranbrook leather, you're going to see the 58 color come off the sofa and love seat group for Talladega. So you'll still be able to order all 3 colors on the recliner, but that darker gray color is no longer going to be available on the sofa and love seat. The Colmar leather, which is what's on your Douglas, is going away. We are dropping the Douglas style. And then the Nevada leather on Morrison, that leather is just being discontinued. And then again, kind of the same thing with Grayson that you're seeing with Talladega. That 79 color is still available on the recliner, but that dark brown is no longer available on the sofa and love seat groups. And then lastly on this list, the Kipling style chair is being discontinued, so that Empyrean leather is going away. And then your leather cap code drops. So like I said, we're dropping leather on the Neil. We're also dropping leather options on the Devon and Kennedy. And so as always, just triple check your cap codes on everything. I know there were a couple issues last market because your price book showed pricing, but the cap codes in the price book listed something different. So trust the cap code list. Because these are still available to order until the middle of December, the pricing will be shown in your updated price book, but only so that you can order it until the middle of December. Once we pass December 15th, you cannot order leather on these items. So just make a note for yourselves, mark it in your books however you need to, just be sure that we're aware of that drop date. And then onto your style drops. So we've mentioned a few of these so far. Like I said, your Kipling, Douglas, and Kirkwood recliners are all being discontinued, as well as your Margaret lift chair. So you'll keep the Miller, but Margaret is going away. And then the Douglas, all of the motion prefixes are going. In stationery, your Lennox is going. And I don't think I listed that actually on your drop covers, but the leather for that will also be needed to be pulled out of your stationery select handle, the select cover for Lennox. And then the Albany Designer's Choice chair is being discontinued. And again, your last order date for these is December 15th. You'll be able to order those styles up until that point. And then we are having a few prefix changes or drops, just so you guys are aware. So you'll see this portion on that list as well. So you'll see all of the P prefixes on any of your 300 series sofas. So the Pinnacle, Turner, Finley, Rowan, Mateo, Liam. We're getting rid of that P prefix. just because they're going to be converting and kind of minimizing. We're using more U and X prefixes anyway, so we just won't have that option anymore. And then for the J, Trooper, Brooks, and Morrison, you'll see all of your 400 prefixes on that list. Don't panic. We're not getting rid of the J, the Trooper, the Brooks, and the Morrison, and the Devon, but we are changing those prefixes. So we'll have more training on that once we're, a little bit further along, but they're going to be adding some options to those prefixes, which I think will be a big benefit. And then for the Kennedy, we are getting rid of 2 of those sectional pieces. The order timeline for the Trooper, J, Brooks, and Morrison is extended until March 15th. So you can actually order those older prefixes, as they will be, until March 15th to kind of cover the timelines and the lead times and keep your orders still coming. And then some more prefix drops. We're dropping the P10 and P16 prefixes on almost all of our recliners. You will see a couple additions like the Maverick and the J. We're also dropping the 16X prefix since we're not ordering too much of those. And Brooks will just no longer be in power in any form as a recliner. You'll still have the manual versions, but no power options on that one. And then the 7 styles that are staying with the P10 or P16 prefix are your James, Grayson, Talladega, Dorian, Joel, Norris, and Soren. Similar to the Trooper, J, Brooks, and Morrison, these styles of sofas will convert to the new prefix within the next year, and that's when we'll get rid of those chairs, but they wanted to keep them in the line until then. What we're doing is converting the 400 series sofas where a group of them will allow a lumbar adjustment to be added. So I know it's going to be a little bit confusing, but I think long term, this will be a really big add for us on the line, on the floor. And I'm working on some kind of reference sheets to give you guys a little bit better comprehension and quick reference to be able to know which styles come as what prefix. And then lastly, what are some of the resources that you guys have to cover all this? So for fabric and leather, you guys will have this 1-page current cover list. I'm sure you guys are used to seeing this in your design centers already. So that's going to be available for this market as well. You will have a leather inventory list that's available to you guys. So if you need to check a leather current available, that's a 2-page list. And then there's a full fabric manual that is condensed down to a few pages. I think it's like 11 or 12 pages. But that's in alphabetical order, gives you your pattern, the name, and then all the colorways that are current, your cap code information, cleanability codes, those types of things. And then you'll have a file that is what should be on your hanging wall in the design center in color order. Having it in color order will make it easier for you guys to do your cover inventories. With the timeline being shortened this market, I don't know if Erica and I will have enough time to get out to all the stores to do that. So I want to make sure you guys have the tools to do what you need to do. And then you also have this digital format for cover information. It's not a printer-friendly file if you try to print the whole thing. So please, please, please do not attempt to print the full file. If you have filtered out something or you need a selection of information printed, you can do that, but check your print previews because like I said, it's not really printer friendly formatted. It's really made to be a digital resource. So you guys can look up information about a specific fabric virtually without having to have piles and piles of pages printed in the stores. And then for your drop list, you'll have a color drop list. I printed one in color order so you guys can pull your drops off the wall pretty quickly. And then also this kind of 1-page full drop of all of your covers and styles. The question is, where do we find all this? So in the email that I sent out to all the managers, there's a link for a box file. It's going to have all of these set up inside of there. If there's other resources that you guys feel like you need, let me know. We can try and get something into that file for you. But as opposed to me sending out 10 or 11 files in an email, I figured one link for a folder would be a lot easier to reference, and then you can save it and use it down the road too. So lastly, your cover inventory ordering. every market, you guys may well know, we go through and do an inventory of what's on your wall. And then that's the only time is after market that we can order those hanging fabric samples. So now's your time to get your inventory so we can address that. So best practice in the way to do this is to pull your drops first. So use that drops in color order form that'll be in the file. That's the easiest one for pulling. You can start at the top and work your way through. Just be sure that you use the one page that's in there for your waterfall hangers. I did try and separate that out for you guys this year, so that's all on one page. So you don't miss any of those individual samples on those waterfalls that need to come out. And then next, you're going to use your Design Center color order without new 2022 intros. You have not received your waterfall samples yet, so I did go through and take out any of the new intros. Otherwise, it'll look like you're missing about 80 samples. And then lastly, you're going to list what's missing on that fillable DC swatch order form. The order form has to be submitted at the very latest by December 26th. So if it's slow in your stores, this is the time to go through and do that. You guys can send it to me and I can send it in. I actually would recommend that, since I know I had stores last market that sent in their own form and they never received their samples. So I don't know if it didn't go through because it came from an external email. I'm not sure what the situation was, but if you guys want to send it to me, I will archive the response and make sure we have it so we can always track it in the future if we need to. And then lastly, print that one-page cover list and hang it in your design center someplace. As you guys are loaning out samples, sometimes those come back. It's always a good habit to get into to check those returning fabrics against that one pager, especially this time of year. If they've loaned them out and then you did your drop list, you want to make sure you're not putting discontinued fabrics back into your sets on the wall. And so this is sort of how the files will be set up in that box drop file. So you'll be able to just download the PDF or open it up and print it, whatever you need to do to get those lists pretty easily. If you're having troubles, please reach out to us and let me know. I can send them, like I said, in an email. I'm just trying to keep it so that you guys can just kind of bookmark a website and always have it at your resource and fingertips. If there are questions, like I said, reach out, let us know. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great week.